We are not trying to alienate anyone who struggles with sexual sin. We are combating the people who are saying it's not sexual sin.
Now this is podcasting.
Here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. There's my hand. Got it. All right. Sorry. I forgot to figure out where I'm sitting on the camera. We have to change it every time because this is built in someone's home, so it has.
We don't own this space.
We don't own this space. And
that's coming, though.
That is coming.
Build a studio. We'll even probably make a video of building the studio.
That would be sick. We could write it off.
Yeah, and I think it'll be part of the set of Goodmans to be, which I think would be really awesome.
Yep, we'll make good part of one of the Goodmans sets.
So yeah, in case you didn't watch to the end of the last episode, Goodmans is the up and coming hyper premium, filmed, produced, written sitcom
coming to a YouTube channel near you.
So subscribe. We're mainly based on YouTube now.
Yep.
We're trying to hammer out clips and get the word out. So share it if you like it, and smash that like button.
We're done being hipsters about
promotions.
Yeah, about promotion. We're not above it anymore.
And we got to start saying the intro because nobody listens to the very end.
Yeah, we do actually need to make this make money, so we have to say.
Yeah, I've got to bow to the.
Yeah.
I see it as just a reminder. Like, I'll watch videos I really like and forget to like it often because there's not the reminder in there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good about it now. As soon as I start watching something, I go, okay, this is of quality. I try and hit the like button just as a little thank you. So please give us a hat tip. Hit the like button and just drive our numbers up a little bit.
Yep, it does. I guess it does help. I would say it does help, but I don't know that.
Everybody says that it does. The algorithm has to base it on something. So if you get more likes and you get more views, I'm sure it's going to be pushing out to more people. But really, sharing it and talking about it would be probably the ultimate way of spreading it.
Yeah.
That's true. Share it to your pages.
Tell your friends. I know I have these two guys. They're like the funniest people that have ever lived, particularly the fat one. You got to watch.
They're always funnier. It's not fair.
That's it. That is true. It's because the damage you have to undergo to get funny also makes you fat.
So does unpopularity and childhood trauma.
Yeah.
So some of the funniest people have the most.
Childhood trauma is what makes you funny. Sorry, that's just how it happens.
They're just funny people.
Yeah, there's no other way to get it. No other way around that.
Hopefully that's not why they were traumatized. A funny-looking kid. Let's go beat him up.
Yeah. Speaking of childhood trauma,
that's not what this show is about, though.
Childhood trauma?
Just beating up on funny kids. Funny kids.
It's about beating up on homosexuals. I'm just kidding.
The show, though, seriously.
This particular episode
it is about sodomites.
It is about sodomites. Pagans and sodomites.
So get ready for that.
Buckle up. If you
just drop half the viewership right there.
Yeah. If you're not about hearing two straight guys rag on homosexuals for 45 minutes, just go ahead and turn it off.
I said ragging on is the wrong word.
I'm going to do plenty of qualifying before we get into it.
All right.
listen.
So please be patient. Goodness sakes.
Wait.
Watch more than a 38-second video for once in your life.
If
Okay?
you're new here,
Okay?
if you're new here, here's how it works. I'm gonna say stuff that's hyperbolic and not helpful, and then Jason's gonna go. Well,
I'm going to try to cut him off right before he qualifies himself, so it looks like he wouldn't qualify himself, and it makes him look worse in retrospect probably than he actually would be. I should just let him go.
Yeah.
I'll just sit here quietly the whole time and smile. Apparently that's what I'm good for.
No, dude, no. You've got the computer.
No, that's true. I do have to just sit over here and make notes. Gotta bleep that.
My daughter got a bed. She's out of the crib, which is a little
Okay.
late. Okay, she's almost 3.
Dude, yeah.
Our house has a lot of stairs.
It's a sleeping place.
Yeah, true. Our house has a lot of stairs, and so like in order to make it safe for a toddler to have a bed in the middle of the night, we had to do some work, and we just were too lazy to do that. So we did it. Now she has a bed, but so we've been working with her on teaching her how to get herself to sleep, which has been a lot of fun, and I'm exhausted. So it's gonna be a slow episode. It might be a short one. I might run out of gas at 30 minutes and be like, all right, we got to cut it. I can't do this. But I'm exhausted. But the first or second night, I think, I don't remember which, we laid her down. She kept getting up. You know, we pick her up, take her back, lay her back down. You got to stay in bed, just over and over and over again. And then finally, I was like, all right, we have this gate. We're going to put up a gate on your door. Because she doesn't have a door. She has like a curtain that hangs in front of the door frame.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this gate up so you can't get out. And she said, okay. She said, yeah, I want the gate. I want it because I can't keep myself.
I can't
going.
resist.
Yeah, I can't. Resist.
I
said,
need the boundaries.
She said, put the gate up. So we put the gate up, and then my wife and I went.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I have a problem.
We're here, Abigail, because we all love you.
Yeah. But you can't keep getting. You can't stop.
She's like, yeah, I know. I have a problem.
Yeah, I've hit rock bottom.
I've hit rock bottom. I need the gate.
Yeah, get the
please.
Gate. Please.
Sign me up for the gate.
So we gave her the gate, and we went and laid down in bed and let her get upset. And she was crying for a couple minutes, like maybe 3 or 4. And we were probably going to let her cry for like 5 before we were going to go in there. And I made it to minute 3 because she started crying and going, please, please, I don't want to die. And I was like,
oh,
what?
No.
What?
Yeah.
And so I got up and walked in there, and she was like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And so I picked her. I scooped her up, and I was like, baby, what are you talking about?
She's
what's
like,
wrong?
got him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, here, let me finish the story. All right. So that was sincere. That was very sincere. She was very upset, and she had. We have talked about stuff dying because obviously we have lots of animals.
Oh yeah.
And
she's been around it.
Yeah, she's been around animals dying. She's been around animals getting taken and not showing back up. She's been around my dog taking care of animals that have attempted to get at our animals. Like, so she's seen it. You know, she understands death. And then we had, obviously at church, a very significant member of our congregation passed away.
Yeah.
And someone who she knew, who she had talked to and interacted with plenty.
Okay.
And who my wife was very fond, who I was very fond of.
Yeah. We all were.
Yeah, all were.
Are.
Yeah, all are. Yeah, we all are.
Look forward to seeing her again.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Very indomitable woman. And so we had to kind of explain to her what happened. And so she has this idea of death in her head. And so I guess it's just kind of really starting to sink in, which is crazy because she's 2. But so I sat down with her and we talked about it. And she said, I don't want to die. And I said, well, baby, you don't have to worry about that. That is, you've got 100 years. You know how long you've been alive? For 2 years. Think about that time. Okay, picture all that time. That you're going to go for 100 more years probably before you die. And she was like, I don't want you to die. I don't want you to die. I don't want mommy to die. I don't want my grandparents to die. And I said, baby, it's going to be a long way off. And then she was like, well, I don't want to grow old. I don't want to get old. And
baby, you got to do one or the other.
Yeah. One or the other. Yeah, there's only one. Yeah. And so we had this episode about witnessing to kids, and then in our last episode, I talked about the gentleman who said he got saved at 3, and the woman who had said, you can't possibly understand. He's like, well, none of us would possibly understand.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, dude? I'm just going to rip it right here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Abigail, you know what? You actually don't have to worry about that at all. You aren't going to die. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, you're not going to die. And I was like, actually, animals die. Mm-hmm. They do die, and they stop existing, and they go away. But people do not die. Our bodies stop working for a little while, but people don't die. And she was like, she was like, they go to heaven. And I was like, some, yes. Some of us will go to heaven.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but some go to heaven. And so I started explaining the whole thing to her. You know, we've talked about Jesus Christ. And she said, yeah, he died on the cross, and there was a cross, and he was born. She started telling me everything. And I was like, yep, that's right. Oh, that's right.
Good.
And I said, do you know why he died? And she's got stumped. Not really. No.
Yeah.
We've talked about it, but she's...
Hasn't quite absorbed that.
Hasn't quite absorbed yet. So I explained all that, started explaining the gospel to her and witnessing to her. And so it started to really click. And I was like, so if you think you can understand it, we can pray right now, and you can ask Jesus into your heart, and that way you will never die. So we did. So I don't know. We'll do it again. Obviously she ages and gets older. We'll talk more.
Understand it on a deeper level.
Yeah. Continue on catechizing her, and we'll pray again. And like, I'm not, she's not going to start doing communion at church or anything, but we've started that process. And so now she's very excited because she's not going to die, and we get to go to heaven for a little while and be in heaven. And, but then we get to come back to earth, and then we get to do everything she likes to do. We get cake pops and M&Ms, all the M&Ms you could ever want to have. You can eat
in
M&Ms.
Flavors that are way better.
Yeah, in flavors. You can have as many M&Ms as you want and never stop having M&Ms.
Yeah, go back and check out our episode where we go real Christian nerdy about the afterlife.
Yeah, about eternity.
Which one was that? That was
that was
Live Like You're
3
Eternal.
ago? Yeah.
Live Like You're Eternal. I think it was 75, maybe. Okay. Check it out.
I don't know. It's all beginning to blur together. We do so
I
many.
think Witnessing to Your Children was 77.
Okay. So that was cool. It was cool to get to talk to her. It was cool to get her to see that start to click more, where she was like understanding the difference between true life and true death and what that means. And I got to explain to her like that there's that oblivion is not in the future for anyone. It's either separation from God or eternal presence with him. Right. And so she got to kind of understand that. And
the death for us is just a transitionary point.
It's just a movement. And so that helped her a lot. But the next night or the night after, she knows now that she's not going to die and that she can't complain about that. And so the next night, this was a weapon. She was not actually upset.
Then she utilized it.
Then she starts crying.
She also learned something else.
Yeah, she learned something else. Yeah.
Not theological, but manipulative.
Yeah, she's crafty. She goes,
women.
Women. She starts going. She starts crying and going. The next night, she goes, I don't want to go to heaven. I want to stay here. So I got her out and I said, babe, listen. You're going to come back. You don't have to worry about, you're going to love heaven. It's going to be amazing. You don't have to go yet. Okay. It's going to be a long time till you go to heaven, and you're only going to be there for a little while, and then we're going to come back. You may not even, we don't actually know. Like, you may not ever go to heaven. Like, we may we might go up there, visit, get a look around, come back down. Like, we don't know how all that works at the end of time. Like, when Christ comes back, what he's going to do with us.
Time's going to be a lot different.
We don't know. But so you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry about that. And she was like, but I want to stay here. And I was like, you're going to stay here for a long time. And then I was like, I know what you're doing. I know that this is not about you not wanting to go to heaven. I know you just don't want to go to sleep. And she was like, I'm just not tired. And I was like, there it is. Yeah. And I said, I can assure you, you are very tired. I've seen the eye rubbing. I know the yawning.
Yep. It doesn't do any good to tell them that.
Yeah, no, at all. But
I've stopped
telling them that they're tired.
Yeah. Oh, well, not entirely. I still fall into that, but it's like, okay, well, you can stay here as long as you like and awake. but you can't get out of bed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome to sit here awake all night if you want.
Yeah.
While you're lying down.
Yeah. But I think this is a helpful, this is a little tidbit for the young guys out there. So our strategy, I think I've talked about this a little bit. I've struggled with sleep like my whole life. Mm-hmm. A big problem. My father did, and now my daughter does. And it's quite a curse, and it sucks. So I'm very sympathetic to her plight.
Yeah.
And so our strategy, if you guys ever you're moving some major thing about their sleeping pattern and they're having a hard time with it, dude, I think it's about tenacity, because I laid her in bed eventually, and the new strategy is to lay her in bed, and then I sit there. I'll sit next to her bed. If I have to do it for 3 hours, I just sit there and pray. And just meditate, pray, do whatever I have to do to stay in the room with her. And she just gets up, lay back down, lay your head down, whatever. She'll get frustrated, she'll cry, she'll whatever. She starts crying, rub her back. I love you very much. This is you. I promise you, you're gonna like this in the future, whatever. And then if she goes to sleep without being rocked, she gets ice cream in the morning. So she's that's also very helpful. But it takes a long time. And I did last night. I got angry, and so I had to have Emily come in, and
it's really important to tap out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had to do that today.
Yeah.
I was struggling hard with one of ours, and my wife was approaching it almost like there was a nuclear bomb about to go off, and she was the only technician on Earth who could defuse it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good thing there's no drywall in my house.
Oh yeah, dude. All my house is all hardwood walls, so that would be a broken hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It affords you, having your spouse tap in affords you the chance to go and pray and meditate and cool down and regain perspective. Like, this is a child, they're going through a struggle. Yes, they are sinning, but that doesn't excuse me sinning in response to it just because they're delaying me getting to what I need to do.
Yeah.
So having your expectations correct, I think, is huge is the only way you don't make some tremendous parenting mistakes.
Yeah.
Because I've made tremendous parenting mistakes because I was so set on this is the way it has to be. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And, trying to run, I think maybe the temptation for a lot of men is trying to run your family like a military. And if they don't take commands and orders, then,
Right, we got a problem.
Then they're defectors and they need to be shot, because, it's like.
Yeah. On the flip side of that,
like Sound of Music, trying to, like the captain teaching his children to march and respond to whistle blows and everything, is just so uniform and everything's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like that's my wife needs to step in and talk through them with certain things.
Yeah.
And sometimes she just relates better to them.
Yeah,
in some ways than I do, and understands. And what you were talking about, even just what you were talking about with your child being like you with sleep. So I've got 4 kids, and some of them are more like my wife, and some of them are more like me in certain ways. And so whatever aspect of their personality that's detrimental to their well-being is usually from my wife or I. And then we have sorry. All right. Sorry about that.
We're back. What were we saying?
Little phone call we had to take care of. But anyway.
Yeah. The last thing. The flip side of, the military, running things like the military. I did last night. We got to a little bit of a head, and so I was like, all right, we got to go. We do have to go dad mode here.
There is certainly a time for that, because it can go the opposite direction of extreme militant too.
Yeah,
which is soft. Why I guess this leads in really well to
to
our topic for today.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Has to be a man and a woman.
It does have to be a man and a woman. Does have to be a man.
Spoiler.
And a woman. Yeah.
Anyway, so
I laid her down and I said, "Abigail, look at me." She looked up at me, and she's trying to hit me. She hit me with the dough. She already hits me with the
doe eyes.
Dude, she'll like cuddle with her mom and then look at me and be like, "Can we go to the park, or like, can we do this, whatever. It's very funny, but she
can we get a puppy?
Yeah, what she did hit me with, and she did win that one. That was almost impossible. That was impossible for me to. So I said, listen, you are not going to beat me. You are going to sleep. I will sit here all night. You will not win. I am in charge. Do you understand? And she said, I'm not going to beat you. And I said, that's right. So it's time to lay down and go to sleep. Uh-oh. Second phone call.
Oh, my goodness.
This is important, though.
Yes, dear.
We're good. We got it.
Everything's resolved.
Everything is resolved.
We think.
Yeah, we think.
Hopefully.
Yes. Let's just
Unless
move on.
I'm wrong about oil levels being high, in which case the engine might blow up. Get another call here soon. I think I'm right, though.
Yeah. It'd be a fun day if that happens. Be a big adjustment.
Would not be at church tomorrow.
It wouldn't be at church. Nope. Really? We'd be delaying Goodman's by another day. It'd be like, you got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
You
too.
got to get in the car and go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. You guys get the point that we're trying to make about kids. Jeez
You were
Louise.
saying not being too militant.
Yeah, not being too militant,
But also being setting down the law
Like,
and
there's times
drawing
you're
a
gonna
line.
have
You
to-
have to draw a line and stay at that line and not keep backing it up because the kid is using very effective manipulation tactics. You have to know when your kid is actually in need of comforting and when they are using your emotion against you.
Yeah. There's
and
a comedian
just using it to stay up later for no reason other than to stay up later.
A comedian recently was talking about how when he was in mass, him and his boys would sing really loud to be obnoxious. And they'd be like, what? This is just...
We're singing really loud.
We're singing. This is how I sing. You don't know how I sing. Like, whatever. And the teachers would be like, I guess that's true, whatever, when they couldn't do anything. Incorrect, dude. You know when they're acting up.
Yeah.
Don't, like, my daughter was putting one leg out. I was saying lay in bed, so she put good in bed. And so it was leg out.
Yeah. How
I
far
said,
can I get?
put your leg-
Testing the line.
Put your leg in the bed. Put her leg in the bed.
Put her hand in the bed.
Butt off. Hung the butt off. So I just grabbed her butt and shoved it in. And she was like, I'm in bed. And I was like,
No, you're not.
we're not playing this game. I'm not playing this game.
Yeah,
with
mine
you.
would sit
You
on
know
the edge.
very well what you were
Sit
doing.
on the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
You told me to get in bed. You know what I mean.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
Get in the bed.
Get in the bed or receive.
But this is on the bed. No. You're not. Do you sleep sitting up on the edge? No, you do not.
Yeah.
It's bedtime.
You know.
Lie down.
You know very well what's happening.
Don't
here.
make me say what exact. I'm not going to define it for you again.
Yeah. I'm not doing this. Yeah. So.
It's very hard not to get sucked into that.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
Yes. Yes.
So, but you got to remain cool.
You got to remain cool. You got to keep your cool.
They win as soon as you lose your cool.
Yeah. As soon as you crack.
I've heard from dog training, from dog trainers that, like, if you get frustrated with your dog, like smack your dog out of frustration as opposed to just like no, you don't do that. If you're not cool and calm about it, then in some way they've won because they got you to irritated.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's not really in control.
Yeah. Okay.
So
nice. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get into the Rex.
Dude, I'm so low energy. This is brutal. Oh, my goodness.
All right.
Recommendations. Guys, couch cushions. It's for old movies, old video games, old books, old stuff that you may have missed because you're 19. All right?
Between the couch cushions.
Here it is.
All right.
Mission Impossible, the first one. It's good. It's got Tom Cruise in it. There's a lady with pretty eyes. He does karate. And there's lots of running. And it's all on film. And there's a mole, and there's a big twist at the end, and it's cool. The end. That's my recommendation.
I wasn't able to make it through that movie because I didn't have the patience to sit through the musicless suspense scene where he's like hanging down off of his line.
Oh,
like,
yes.
trying to,
that part's so sick. You don't like that?
when I was like 13, probably,
okay.
or whenever I saw it. So sadly, I didn't make it all the way through that. I think I've seen several of the other Mission Impossibles that were more modern and exciting. But
It's.
I
good.
don't doubt that the first one is good. I
It's
just
very
say,
good.
sadly, so
It's cool.
it's a different paced movie, is all
Yes.
I'm saying.
Yes.
And so learn to appreciate
There's the tech guy.
different pacing.
I've got it. The AC unit is over in this way. Make a left turn, right turn now. Put the bomb. The bomb. Jay, you have 6 seconds to defuse the bomb. He's sweating.
Yeah.
Is the bomb
The
going to
tech
go
guy.
off? It's going to go off? And he's like, did you say the blue wire? I can't hear him. The radio's out. Blue wire? I think he said the blue wire. The girl's going, not the blue wire, not the blue wire. He's like, and he looks at her and goes, we can do this together. Clip. Doesn't explode. Always the best movie when that's what's happening. Something like, was that in the, I think there was another movie that I watched, or like TV show I watched recently where that was, it was The Punisher. Oh, dude, The Punisher.
Yeah.
The first season of The Punisher.
Okay.
It's all right. It's okay. It's good enough, you know. But the girl in it, the reporter, that's the paralegal in the Daredevil TV show. If any of you guys want to know, I don't know if it just is. If you're curious what my type is, look at that girl. That is like.
The audience has been wondering.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's been
What is Ethan's
bated
type?
breath. Yeah, that's what my wife looks like. Tall, blonde, like luxurious looking.
Yeah.
Dude, that girl is stunning.
Yeah.
Every time I saw her on screen, I was like, nice. And I just text my wife, I love you. I'm glad you look the way you look. Long hair comes down behind the ear, subtly elegant.
Yeah.
Ugh, that girl's beautiful.
Elegance. Very nice.
Yeah, so that's not The Punisher. The first,
That's Daredevil.
no, the first Mission Impossible is my recommendation.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want to get that confused. I want you guys to be
Gotcha.
aware.
All right. My recommendation is the movie Secondhand Lions. You ever seen this one?
Maybe.
Okay. It came out in 2003. I don't know who the director is, but it stars Michael Caine and Robert Duvall as two old Texan guys. Living, they're brothers, and their great nephew gets dropped off by his deadbeat mother for the summer while she goes off and is loose with somebody.
Fun.
The young boy is played by Haley Joel Osment.
Okay.
And so, actually, the movie starts out with him as an adult. He's like a cartoonist, and he gets a phone call saying, from the sheriff saying like, "Hey, I've got some bad news. It's about your uncles." And then he immediately goes back and remembers. So it goes back and shows how he got introduced to his uncles, which is his mom. It's like, "Oh, you're just gonna be off here for the summer, I'm gonna be going off to school and learning to be a whatever." So he doesn't want to go. It's just him and his mom. I guess he has no father figure is the point, right? And he has a deadbeat mother who drops him off with these two uncles who do not want him there at all.
Yeah, okay.
They get there, and the two uncles are fishing in the pond out back with shotguns.
Excellent.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Like, hey, he's going over there. He's making a run for it. I'll cover him while you cover him while I reload.
Yeah.
They're rumored, the uncles are rumored to have like millions stashed away. There's rumors about them, like maybe they were bank robbers who never got caught, and they've got this stash of cash and whatnot.
Yeah.
And his mom's like, hey, maybe you could, just like one of those stories you're always reading, a real buried treasure. Maybe you could look around, because she would love to have some of that money as well. And anyway, the uncles don't want him there, but she kind of forces them to take him. And so they're like, we don't know anything about kids. And they send him up to like the top room of this creaky old house, the attic bedroom, basically.
Yeah.
With this dusty old bed. And they're like, we're getting pretty old, kid. Fixing to die anytime. So if we kick off in the middle of the night, you're on your own. It's like that's his good night to them.
Yeah. Nice.
If you need anything, find it yourself. Or better yet, learn to do without. The dialogue from the uncles is so funny.
That's awesome.
So it's a hilariously comedic movie and very heartfelt because eventually they do come to really care about him.
Yeah.
And they kind of, neither one of them has children. They kind of pour into this kid in their old age what obviously they missed during their whole life of adventure and whatnot, because and the Michael Caine character ends up telling the story of like what the stuff they did do. Like they traveled Europe right before World War I. or as World War I was happening, and they were touring Europe right ahead of the German army, and they finally got shanghaied into the French military, and they got shipped off to Africa, and so they fought in the war.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so he's telling all these stories, and it's doing cutaways to showing what they were doing, and all these elaborate stories. And they had this. So the other Robert Duvall's character falls in love with this sheik's betrothed wife or whatever, this beautiful woman, and so there's this love story in it that was, and then she ends up dying, I guess. So he ends up by himself. So he's kind of an old curmudgeon, right? So the one woman he ever loved died in childbirth. So he doesn't have a child, doesn't have a wife, and he's just this old guy who has no purpose anymore so you find out all of this as you're watching the movie and learn to care. The characters are great. It's called Secondhand Lions because one of their ideas is to buy this used lion to shoot as a safari just to entertain themselves. So they're in a wildlife hunt on their property, and so they get which is very Texas, which I didn't know watching the movie at first, but I was like, oh, okay, this fits.
Happens
ordering
all
wild,
the time.
Ordering big cats is a thing in Texas.
Yeah, it is a thing. Yes.
There's a big cat refuge near where I work.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
for abandoned wildcats.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, great movie. He ends up staying with them eventually and being raised by them. So
that's cool. Well, that's fun. That's just a good old fashioned.
I will say the one thing that irks me about the movie is that they have one of the uncles has just some terrible life advice. It's great. Very, as he says something to the effect of, sometimes the things sometimes the things you don't know are true are the things a man needs to believe in the most. Basically, the things that matter are the things you don't know whether or not they're true. You just have to have faith. It's something very vague, and it's commitment and love and whatnot. So he gets a few things right. It's like an agnostic feeling, groping around for the truth, and he gets a little piece of it.
Yeah.
But he's like, you don't really know if it's true or not, but you got to believe in it anyway because that's what will keep you steady. So he's almost there, but it's without God and without Jesus. So that part is frustrating. So if you show it to your kids, that's a conversation to have with them, and if they're already well ordered, then they'll be able to pick that out. But anyway, that's the one part I don't like about the movie. Other than that, pretty great movie.
Pretty great. Secondhand Lions. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Main topic time.
Rocking it, dude. Oh man. Here we go. We're gonna do this.
You can do it.
I can do this.
He can do it.
I can do this. Let me rub my eyes. Let me get a good eye rub in here.
You need to go to bed. You're really tired.
I know, dude. I'll stick my butt out of the bed.
Don't make me grab your butt and put it back.
Speaking of sticking out butts, gay guys.
Nice transition.
Thanks.
Real smooth.
Thanks. All right. Listen, there is a issue. All right. Now, this is not for our conservative, reformed Christian audience. This is for the other half, if that exists. So this is how I'll start this. I was watching a video game tournament recently, okay? There was a really good player. They're all really good players, obviously, but amongst them,
there was someone who shone.
I was watching a stream of one person, and I could hear you can hear all of his teammates. They're all talking to each other. You can hear, and one of them talked like this the whole time. Was doing this, and something would happen. He'd go, "Yes, twin. Yes, twin. Good job. Got it. Me too, twin." And then twin. It's an internet speech. So there's a whole. This is very funny. There's an entire world out there of internet homosexuality, internet-based homosexuality that has. One of the reasons why I have an issue, I can't watch most Twitch streamers or YouTubers in general, is because there's lingo gets so uniform and so cohesive that it's obnoxious.
Okay.
One of the things,
just inflexible.
Yeah, one of the things that they say that everyone says right now is that's cinema. It's cinema. It's a movie.
It's cinematic. It's cinematic. It's so perfect that you could watch it on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And
but it's obnoxious
it's
when it's
very annoying
done
to me.
excess.
Yeah, because everybody says it. It's like
Right. The first guy to say it was great.
the first guy to say it, genius.
Yeah.
That's the funniest thing of all time.
Yeah. That's cinema top comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Top
Deservedly
comment,
so.
Yeah. Doing something.
More likes on that comment than the video.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing something impressive on a video game, looking at the camera and going, that was cinema.
That was
you
cinema.
guys just saw cinema. Funniest guy on earth. Okay. Now, everyone else that said it after, I'm not going to make Jason work, so I'm not going to say what I want to say. But
already got enough editing on this episode.
Kick rocks, dude. Get out of here. You're lame. So I don't want, the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want what I'm about to say to sound like I don't like it just because it's gay guys. I don't like it at all, ever, in any situation. Girls do it a lot, like internet girls, like streamers. They all say like bestie and like girly and go off twin, whatever, all this stuff, right? So there's gay people on the internet, and they're
Yas Queen.
Yeah, the evolution of that.
Okay.
Is where we are at.
Right,
now.
that's probably 5 years ago now.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. You're
it's about
old.
where I
yeah.
fell off.
Yeah, which is foreboding for me because I'm about to be 30, so I'm about to fall off, I guess.
Start to not follow any of it.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true. If you stay in it, you will.
Well, I'm also just cool, so I'll stick with all the stuff that's cool.
Okay.
You'll
wait 5 years and then say cinema, and everyone will like, whoa!
Oh, throw me out of like retro. It's like vintage at that point.
Retro.
Now it's like cool and it's like unique that you're saying it. So this guy I'm watching this video game. This guy's hitting all the gay lingo, like all the things you say when you're a gay guy online to signal that you're a gay guy online. Yes, twin, you ate that. You ate.
Oh, gross!
Like somebody hit a big ultimate, kill everyone on the team.
Yeah,
you ate. You just ate. Mad annoying. All right. Now, here's the thing. His name. So there's this constant push from the alphabet people. What's the famous black comedian? It doesn't matter. From the gay community, there's this constant push to be like, we're normal, this is normal, everything is normal, right?
Yep.
At the same time,
normalize it.
At the same time, there is this constant dialogue and narrative about their own mental instability, constantly, all the time.
Among them.
Every Reddit post, every Twitter interaction on gay Twitter, all of this stuff is sometimes I'm normal, but I'm also like so depressed. It's like crazy. I'm like gay and depressed.
Yeah.
Constantly. And it's like, it's cool to them.
Right.
So and also the fact that you and I we don't suffer from some sort of like terminal anxiety or like insane depression. That's a lie. That's not true. We definitely do. It's just repressed in like a Freudian sense.
Oh, gotcha.
So like we're going to molest someone later in life, or like we beat our wives or something in secret.
Right. The same thing they would say to conservative women who are happy being
submissive
to their husbands
right.
are just repressed.
Right.
Patriarchal.
Right. It's all
victims.
repression. Yeah, it's all repression, and the only way to not have abhorrent behavior come out of repression is to have abhorrent behavior that you control in some way. That's the secret.
Oh, okay. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. We have
in our basements.
Yeah, in our basements we have weird sex parties and permanently destroy ourselves physically, which by the way, those stats are coming. I have them. Get ready. These are all things that we do in ways that are somehow ethical and can fit into some sort of moral, like strange, bizarre, mutated moral framework that we've built for ourselves out of abstraction and ambiguity, and somehow what we do fits into that, but anything else outside of that would be immoral. So there's a lot of like from that same community.
Right, that's aberrant.
You'll have like let's say God forbid, obviously, but let's say my wife were to pass away. Okay, now I would probably marry someone that's 22, okay? Be honest. If I got remarried, which I'm not saying I would. I don't know that I would be able to do that. But if I did,
yeah,
she would probably be 22. Okay, just gonna be honest. They're hot. Sorry. That is, if I'm 30 and she's 20, that is, to these people, literally, not figuratively, that is literally like grooming and molestation. So that the single
but everything
most
they do
common
is not.
arrangement, everything they do is all normal. When I have sex with a 14-year-old boy and I'm a 19-year-old homosexual or a 35-year-old homosexual, it's because he wanted it. It's consensual. Why would we make that illegal? The Greeks did it.
But it's patriarchal and horrible.
But it's patriarchal
to marry someone younger than you by more than a year or two.
So that's what I'm talking about. The moral structure they built for themselves is like, it's not even justifiable or explainable by them. They can't even articulate like why the structure exists there, and it's all like whatever.
They'd go off into abstractions talking about this injustice or that injustice, and very vague and just wiggly and slippery, and you can't pin them down anywhere.
Yeah, it's just and then ultimately, if you have a conversation with them long enough, which you won't, because they'll tap out. Is the conversation?
That's a call out. Anybody who is defending this point, you guys cannot maintain an argument
for more than 30 minutes.
Nope.
No. And
try it in the comments. I dare you.
I dare you.
Both of us will.
Yeah, I used to have those conversations with people in person, and I would do it 100 versus me on a college campus. I'm not scared of your little comments.
That's why those guys are able to go on campuses and just knock down the pins one after the other.
Yeah, because they know. Like all I have to do is not.
I only have to stay to the facts I know on this one subject, and I'll be fine.
If I don't compromise for long enough, the person I'm talking to will get flooded and spaz out, and then have to be removed by security, which means I win.
Yeah.
So it's just that's it. That's all you have to do. But so this back to the main thing. So this guy. So they have this, the constant, this is normal, but also I'm chronically, clinically depressed, whatever. I'm on all these amphetamines and different drugs, and I have to take antidepressants and all this, whatever, just to not kill myself. And this person is doing that. They're doing this shtick of like, this is normal. The way I'm acting is normal. You ate, whatever, being aggressively gay to everyone around them. And that's what it is. They're being gay at you. As like a challenge to be like, say something to me. Say something to me about how gay I am. Please. I'll get you canceled. I'll get you, which is very funny to see these people act that way in a world where that's gone. No one cares anymore. Like what is it? Your words have no power here. Like, what is it? What is it? Is it Wormtongue says that to Gandalf in the movies?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, that's real now. Your words don't have any power anymore.
Or Gandalf says it's Wormwood, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Sorry, everybody.
I'm
so sorry. Comment below.
At least 45 days since I've watched The Two Towers, so I don't know what is all the details. But
no, I think it is Wormwood saying that. I apologize.
I
honestly don't know.
Oh, so this guy's doing that, and then somebody, I guess, says the N-word in another of the streamers' chats. They're all streaming together in like this unified way on Twitch, so it shows up in everyone's chat.
Okay.
And so they obviously block it, ban the guy immediately, whatever. Nobody, and they're all the guys, because it's all men, including this gay guy. They're all laughing about it, like LOL. The guy said the N-word, ban him, whatever. Get that out of here. You can't say that. They're all having a giggle. This guy says,
the gay guy.
The gay guy goes, chat reflects the streamer, and he's making a joke, right? It's hidden. It's hidden by being like, oh, I'm joking, but that is a threat. That is like a little threat. That's like a little dagger, sort of. I've got you. I've got something now that I can say that you. Mm-hmm. I've got somebody said the N-word that you were standing next to. I've got it, and so there's all these little abhorrent. All these clear red flags that this person is mentally unstable is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you're standing next to this person who has it, who is looking for a dagger to stab you with for no reason. You're literally on the same team.
Because they're miserable.
Yeah, they're miserable. And also the person's username that they chose was borderline, like borderline personality disorder, right? They worship this stuff. So there's this push to normalize homosexuality, to at least make homosexuality uncriticizable. You can't be too negative about it. And I think that is dying, but I don't see any reason why we should let up the offensive, which is why this episode is happening today, because I think the Overton window has been dragged kicking and screaming to the right almost single-handedly by Kanye West. Have you heard his new song?
Yeah, actually I did.
It's very funny. And also extremely catchy. So don't listen to it because you will be saying Heil Hitler in your head over and over and over again for 2 days.
And it might slip out somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Yeah. You might be, no, Heil Hitler. Yeah. And so I think we should. I think I'm gonna bolster Kanye. I'm gonna get behind him with my shield and help him push over to the window to the right. So these are some internet stats that online people know these things. Okay, but if you're not online, you may not know this. So I think it's important. And it's like being in front of a demon and praying. You know, you just repeat these stats over and over again, and homophobes can't. There's a clip going around right now of a girl doing one of those, like, me versus 100 college students kind of, I'm on, this is whatever changed my mind, that kind of video.
Oh, okay.
And a gay guy sits down in front of her, and she's like, what, they're talking back and forth, but the clip is, she repeats a stat to him, which is that, like, a vast majority of men who report having anal sex with other men, who else would you be having anal sex with? No one else has something to put in your butt. A vast majority of those men report having incontinence.
Weird.
Okay, so now this is a little graphic, but hey, this is the evil that you must look at. Okay, I'm sorry, this is the world you have to live in today. You should know this. All right, you should know how despicable these people are. Most gay men who are like in their 30s and 40s wear diapers, like, to work. And do you know why they're doing that? Because of anal incontinence. They have lost the muscular control of their butts, and so they
just wore
soil
out the
themselves. Yes, they soil themselves.
You have 2 sphincters, one that is controlled by you and one that is controlled by your body.
Oh, interesting.
An automatic one.
Really?
So when your body is saying, you got to go right now, it's opening the one, and you are going, not yet.
Really? That's what's happening?
Physically holding yours close. So you're just, you got half the power, and you're trying to not poop yourself.
Okay. Now I know what's going on with me every time I'm on the way home. In the car on the way home from a coffee shop.
Unless they are actually, like, clenching all the time, probably they've worn out, or it's just so ragged, the muscles there.
They just can't. They have no control over it. Yeah. So anyways,
when you do things to your body, like you punch, what is it? One of the things that martial artists will, like, you were talking about kicking like a tree or something like that repeatedly with their shins or something to harden up your shin.
Yeah.
Your body responds to stimuli by either hardening that surface, like in the case of kicking something or punching something, you harden those bones and they thicken. Yeah. I think it's called, somebody will correct me, I think it's called Wolf's syndrome or Wolf's something or other. And that's your body adding extra layers to that, like to that tissue, or hardening it, or increasing the density of your bones in the place of impact.
Yeah.
So that wherever that impact is, it can resist it better, because your body goes, oh, we're getting a lot of impact there. We need
more mass.
Buff it up.
Interesting.
And so, but if you wear out a part that's not meant to take it, like your anal sphincters, they're just not going to work anymore.
Yeah, and there's stuff like the DoorDash did a special on Pride Month where they had bottom-friendly diets that you could order. So you could go on DoorDash, and on the app, it would say, like, bottom-friendly food to order.
No, that was less likely to make you leaky.
Yes.
Sick. DoorDash.
How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel, Christian man? Do you feel like relaxing now? Do you feel like things are good now? Or do you feel like it's time to go into the street and start singing hymns? What do you think? Men who have gay anal sex are 3 times more likely, 300% more likely to suffer from incontinence at some point in their lives. Think about that. Not even men who've reported having gay anal sex only one time. Only once. At least one time. So even if you have gay anal sex once, You're now 300 times more likely to experience incontinence. And here's what I'll suggest. My suggestion is that it's not all physical. It's also spiritual. I think that if you allow someone to sodomize you, your soul is going to rebel against that in some way. And part of it is that it's going to make you poop more, whether you like it or not. It's going to
at moments that are not optimal.
Yeah, while you're sitting at your desk at your little marketing job, clicking away, because you can't have a real job because you're unstable. You don't have a work ethic because you don't know what to do. So that's stat numero uno. Okay, here's stat number 2. All right, now this is one of my favorites. It's very funny. This
Really quick, you said, was that the stat that girl?
Yeah,
said to that guy?
yeah. She hit him with that, and he was like, literally like a cartoon. Just couldn't talk. Literally was like stammering, like
that was
and there
it.
was like hands on face, like this. And this is also one of the key, like this is a very feminine thing to act annoyed. I got to move my phone off, or it's going to start jittering in the mic.
Yeah.
To act like I just can't even.
All
You're
flustered.
so stupid that I can't even talk to you. Whatever. And you go, okay, well, I mean, just take a second, collect yourself, and enlighten me. Hit him with that. That's the death of that kind of, that
flustering and
oh, you're just so what? Oh, it's just too much. I just
know.
can't even. Yeah. Then you stay calm and go. Okay, I'll take a
wait.
second. I'll wait. You collect yourself, and then tell me what I've said that's wrong. And then they'll go. Well, I just can't even. This is just what. And then
these
walk
statistics don't interest me.
Yeah. He'll walk away in his pink shorts. So, here's another one. This is not one of my favorite. That one's sad. That's not my favorite, so I'm not going to read that one. This one's very funny, though. Domestic abuse rates amongst lesbians is way higher than any other group.
What?
That's funny.
I thought that's what they were fleeing.
Lesbians are boxing in their house, dude. They're not. They don't have better lives. All right, they go from now. This is sad. All right, most girls think they're lesbians probably because they were. Well, everybody thinks that they're a homosexual because they were molested. That's why they're homosexuals, because they were molested. And so that's sad. Okay, that's not funny. That's not anything to joke about. This person's in pain. They're miserable, and we ought not. The ones that I think are perfectly fine to mock and ridicule and even be cruel to, not cruel, but mean to, are the ones who are hostile and actively trying to continue molesting.
Combatants.
Yeah, the combatants. The ones who have made themselves soldiers of the enemy are the ones who you get to hit.
Who you need to fight.
Yeah, but the ones who are just bystanders, who are confused, who haven't done anything wrong, those people
are beaten.
Yeah, they've done something wrong. Yeah, but they are beaten. Those are victims. They need to be refugees. You need to treat them that way.
Yeah.
So,
show love to them.
Yeah.
Fight the enemy and show love to the victims of the enemy who are ensnared by it.
Yes.
And as soon as they say, "Hang on, hold on,"
yeah,
then stop hitting them.
Right. Yeah. So lesbians beat each other way more. So anyways, what I was going to say was that this idea here, okay, is that lesbians are fleeing the narrative that these people weave is that the world is so harsh to women and that men are so vile to women that in many cases women's only solution for companionship that isn't abusive is other women, which
is God's, I think, comedic irony and judgment to them.
Right.
It's like, you're fleeing what I told you to do.
Well, you're claiming to flee what I told you to do because of domestic abuse, which is not the case. It's not true. You just...
Right. Well, I doubt that they go into it, flee to it, and go, this is... I doubt they realize what they're getting into.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So my point is that... And so the ones you're combating are the ones who are aware of this statistic and continue to say, no, this is better.
It's better. These only viable solution.
Those are the people who need to be...
But I also want to make
hit.
the point. I want to...
Not physically, obviously. We're talking about... Don't go hitting lesbians.
Don't hit anybody. Don't be hitting anybody.
But you need to combat these people and call them out.
Yeah, but the point I do want to make perfectly clear is that domestic violence is exceedingly rare. issue. These women are not fleeing domestic violence via men and then accidentally finding domestic violence via women. They are in sin and in rebellion and being punished for it. There is no domestic violence in their past. That yes, they were probably, well, I guess that's
it could have been. Yeah. My point is that some of them could have been domestically abused in a bad, legitimately bad marriage.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then they leave thinking, well, I'll just go be with a woman because clearly all men are bad, or I'm terrified to be with a man, and then they run into as much or worse the same situation.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, which is right. So, there's that stat. Now, here's one that completely defies. This one undermines the entire narrative. The entire the whole system comes down when this stat hits you. Okay, and then it is that. Let me find the exact numbers here because I pull up a different article because I want to make another point. But it is that teen pregnancy, I think, is double or triple. Oh, no, not. Okay, there's a 45%, so nowhere close to double or triple, but there's a 45% chance, 45% uptick amongst lesbians of teen pregnancy.
Say that again.
There's if you self-identify as being a lesbian and you're like 15,
okay,
you are 45% more likely to get pregnant.
That doesn't track.
Does it? It
Why
doesn't
is that?
track, does it? It doesn't track, does it? Is that maybe because being a lesbian is fake and not real and an entirely invented thing, and these women are not, these young girls are not lesbians, they're just broken and confused, and so are just seeking self-medication through sexual malfeasance, and then are finding that either at the hands of a man or a woman, and the consequences of that activity naturally are things like pregnancy. Could that possibly be it?
Yeah. Out of wedlock pregnancy.
Out of wedlock pregnancy. It's because gay women are not gay and gay men are not gay. That's not something real. You can't be gay. That's not real. Okay? It's just an act.
A self-medication and acting out of pain.
Yeah. It's not a thing.
To which we are incredibly sympathetic.
Of course.
Again, all of our harsh words are only for those who are militant about it and who are propagating the idea that it is normal and healthy to act homosexual.
Yeah.
Those are the people that these harsh words are meant for, not the people who are legitimately confused and upset, traumatized, victimized. For those, we have undying sympathy.
Yeah, because it's not like Jason and I don't have our own sins.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't struggle.
We've talked about sexual sin of ours in the past. There's 2 episodes, back-to-back episodes, back when this was only audio. I think it was Bedroom Adventures.
Bedroom Adventures and Bedroom Adventures 2, Back in Bed.
Or Back to Bed or something like that. Yeah, go and check out those. We're pretty frank about our own difficulties and struggles. Like we are not trying to alienate anyone who struggles with sexual sin. We are combating the people who are saying it's not sexual sin.
Yeah, after I've talked about this plenty of times. Even after I got saved as an adult, I still struggled with premarital sex. I was a frat guy. I did not treat people well. I didn't treat myself well, and that is just as deranged and degenerate as sodomy. It is no different. It's exactly the same. It's the same sin. So it doesn't.
I'd say the same category.
Yeah,
I
same
don't
category.
Know if I don't know how. I think God views homosexuality as an abomination.
Yeah.
I don't think he says that
about.
Well,
how about this?
About sexual sin outside of marriage. It is asexual sin. I think that sodomy is a step further.
Yeah. I lie.
But it doesn't mean that I'm any less deserving of hellfire. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
We have all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Yeah.
We all deserve to go to hell. We all need Christ's blood to redeem us.
Yeah.
That is the gospel message, and it's for you. If you are struggling with homosexual sins, and it's for us struggling with our heterosexual sins. Okay? Jesus is for everyone who accepts him.
Yeah.
Send us an email. If you have any questions about this, please send us an email.
If you're angry, send us an email.
Yeah, please send us an email.
Scathing email.
We will happily engage you.
Yeah.
Work hard at hyperpremium.co, and we will both get it.
Yep. We'll both see it. Yep. And we'll both respond. And if you are so enthusiastic about it, you can come on. You can come on to the show and talk to us about it.
Yeah.
We'll have you on. Please. If you have a lot of followers, definitely come on. What's our time? What are we at?
Oh, we're at an hour. We should wrap it up.
All right, guys.
So, yeah.
Listen.
I was going to say this earlier, but it's time to reclaim the rainbow.
It is. Yeah, it is. The rainbow's sick. I want that back.
The rainbow was God's promise to mankind to not destroy the earth with water again. And why did he destroy the earth with water? Because mankind had become so abhorrently sinful, and part of that was sexual sin. Women having sex with, like, the sons of God or fallen angels, in my understanding.
Yeah.
Which bequeathed, which made horrible giants and other atrocities.
Freaks, other like, what's the
the Nephilim?
The Nephilim. But what's the director that always made the crazy body horror stuff? What is his name?
Yeah.
Cronenberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cronenberg freaks.
So it was because, in large part of, or at least the root cause, in my understanding, for the flood was because the earth had been so saturated with the results of sexual sin.
Oh, okay. Hold on. One thing I do want to say here. This is going to take us a little longer. This is a theory of mine. Okay, I have no theological backing for this. So just take this with a grain of salt. All right. I think sexual torture, sexual sin, is the like operative form of control that is used to indoctrinate people. I think that it is. I think there's a very, very clear, distinct conspiratorial reason why it is common in the West still to circumcise boys. I think that is an act of satanic worship that has intentionally been devised by a group of people that exists. I think that the sexually torturing kids in particular is like the penultimate. It's like of the ranking of possible sins that can be committed on the earth. Sexually torturing children that's it. It's the apex. There is no act further from God that a human can do. And the homosexual thing, this sodomite thing, this lesbian, all of this stuff is tied to that. The pedophilia thing, all of that stuff is tied to this somehow. Somehow, some way, the CIA is like. First of all, I'm full Alex Jones, and like I don't talk about this much, but I do think that who knows the true nature of God. He has not chosen to reveal himself fully to us. We don't understand what he is in totality, but part of what he obviously is a transdimensional being. He exists outside of our dimension of reality in his own thing. He exists outside of all.
Outside of time
and all.
Everything that we understand.
Yes.
Everything that was created, which is everything that we experience.
Heaven, these are different dimensions of being. And there are creatures that exist in and out of these things that can clearly come to ours and go back to theirs. And
there's some powers.
Yeah, they have some
limited powers.
Yeah, they have
allowed by God.
Yeah, some limited ability to interact with our world. And I do fully think that in the 60s and 70s, a bunch of retarded CIA agents took a bunch of drugs and thought that they were talking to aliens, transdimensional beings that have transcended our realm and reached immortality via technology or whatever. And maybe that's true. I don't know. But those beings are certainly demonic. Absolutely demonic. Because what they said was, get as many kids as you can and cut off the tips of their penises and shock them and kill them. And that's what they do. All right. Look up the Finders cult. All right. That's dark stuff. So this is, if you think you're gay, you are playing into the hands I would imagine you also kind of, especially these people that we're talking about, like this borderline person that I was talking about, this video game person, probably Antifa adjacent, kind of like, that kind of world.
Yeah, rebelling against the establishment, whatever that is.
Yeah. If you are gay, you are an accomplice to the very people you claim to hate. You are playing into their hands and participating in the worship of beings that you cannot hope to
please,
to work with, to collaborate with, beings that hate you, beings that are so miserable themselves, their only desire is to see you also miserable. They hate you because they think God does love you more than he loves them, but they know that and they are envious of it. They think that they could do all of this better. They think their way, look up Gnostic cults, okay? That's still persistent today. They think everything that's bad is actually good. Everything that's good is actually bad. They want to be corrupt lizard people. This is a whole thing, all right? This is all real, all right? It's all been written down by them. It's all in declassified documents. It takes like 10 minutes to figure all this stuff out. You just can't use Google. You have to use Yandex or whatever.
That's important to tell people.
Yeah, and then the last thing is that the point that I wanted to make here was that this the teenage pregnancy amongst lesbians, the article that I had to pull that from was an article arguing about how that's happening because straight white men are bullying them so much. And so there's always this play. It's always a reversal. Okay? And this is now we're talking to our Reformed crowd.
Like a yeah, but.
Not even a yeah, but. It's a
okay.
It is a taking what is true and turning it so far on its head that it's hard to even, for a truth-seeking, rightly ordered person, it's hard for you to even quantify. It feels the same way it feels when you go to Austin downtown and a homeless schizophrenic guy starts talking. He's like, "Yeah, Devin, Devin, I got him the other day and we had a pizza together and it is 9/11 and there was all of a sudden the planes came down and they hired me and I had to go over there with Devin and we got pizza and I roundhoused him and it was all over the time and Will, what's good, dog?
What's up, man? Welcome to the set.
Welcome to the set, bro. Take a seat. We'll be with you in a minute. It feels the same way. It feels that way. It feels that disjointed and schizophrenic because it is, but it's like it's like an unfiltered lie, like a lie in its purest form. It's like trying to walk up to activated uranium. It's just it's this unbolstered, unarmored, undefended, unhidden, open lie that is offensive to your soul as a believer. And so it's repellent in in the truest definition of that word. And so it's hard to get hit with you hearing the stat, teenage lesbians have higher rates of teenage pregnancy, and then someone being, well, that's because of bullying from white men. It's it just short circuits you. You're just what?
How on earth?
What are you even talking about? And you can't, and then you get all jumbled up and you can't think anymore.
Yeah.
So it's important for you to stay in the pocket, recognize that what the person is doing is this Jew trick to try to reverse the essence of logic and reason and thinking itself to become the opposite of what is obviously observably true. And it's not about the lie itself. It's not about getting you to believe the lie itself. It's about putting you on your back foot. It's about lying so brazenly that you're surely this person can't be thinking that I'm going to believe what they're saying. There must be something else here. So that's just a little
trick.
Trick.
Smoke bomb.
Yeah,
and they're gone.
Yes, yeah.
It's Batman.
Yes, exactly. It's the Batman of lies.
By the time you've gathered your thoughts, you're where'd they go?
Yeah, they're gone. It's over. Oh, all of a sudden abortion's legal. Yeah, by the time the smoke clears, they've made it illegal to say you can't have sex with little boys. Something crazy. So just be wary of that. All right, stay in the pocket. Don't let people trick you. Okay, and it's not even, you're not going to get tricked. You'll know that it's a lie. But what I'm saying is recognize what's happening and go, okay, I have to stay focused. I have to just brush that off.
Stay on topic.
Don't even acknowledge that they said it. Just keep going. That's all right, Doug. That doesn't make sense.
Whatever.
I'm going to keep talking.
Yeah.
So anyways, guys, we love you. This is it. Don't be gay. Be normal. Be regular. So please find a wife. Find a young woman that you love who is, let's be honest, young. All right? She's 22. They're hot. This just is what it is. All right? Love her. Marry her. Have children with her. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I took
that's all right. It's ruined now.
That's
ruined
tough,
now.
dude.
Can't
I did it. I'm tired, bro. I'm off my game.
That's okay.
No, you got to say it. You got to say it. Say it.
Look, have some babies.
Have some babies. All right. Go to church. Raise those children in the church. Catechize them.
We love you. We're praying for you.
We are. Yes.
Let's go reclaim the rainbow.
Yes. All right, guys. We'll see you. Bye.